thought we could...
Not gonna happen. Last night was the end of this freak show.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're looking at times protagonist and antagonist hooked up, leaving viewers captivated and maybe a little confused too. Warning, expect some spoilers ahead.
Shall we steal their stupid campers? Yes.
Number 10. Artemisia and Themistocles. 300 Rise of an Empire. In this sequel to 300, what starts as a negotiation between two opposing military leaders ends in, well, something a little more than politics.
Your barge and you are quite impressive.
Kind words.
Athenian general Themistocles is summoned to Persian queen Artemisia's warship for a quote-unquote meeting.
I'd say there's a spark of the divine in you.
After some epic flirtation, Artemisia seduces Themistocles and attempts to convince him to join her side and become her lieutenant.
You asking me to negotiate a surrender?
No. I offer you a chance to avoid such misery and join me.
While he does, seize her glory, Themistocles rejects Artemisia's offer to team up, which the notorious female warrior does not appreciate. Following their fling, the scorned Artemisia noticeably amps up her fighting game. Guess we don't all take rejection well.
Surrender to me, or meet your death.
Who would you fight if not for me? No one could challenge your skill. I would rather die a free man than as a slave.
Number 9. Grant Ward and Skye and May. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Grant Ward really got around, at least until he was outed as a double agent.
Some people are just born evil, I guess.
Yeah, maybe they are.
Ward entertains not one, but two flings with S.H.I.E.L.D. agents while serving as a false member of the heroic team, and ends up betraying and deceiving both women when they discover he's been working for the criminal organization Hydra. Early in Season 1, he begins a secret affair with veteran agent Melinda May, but their spark dies down when he falls for, or at least appears to fall for, a hacker named Skye, whom he is assigned to train.
You said he might die, so what the hell?
Lock the door behind me.
When Ward's true loyalty is revealed, neither of his two flames are too happy.
I have a weapon much better than a bomb that will absolutely destroy you.
Why is that?
Because you slept with her. And she's really pissed off.
Number 8. Debra Morgan and Brian Moser, a.k.a. the Ice Truck Killer. Dexter. Don't you hate it when you end up falling for the very murderer you've been chasing all season? In Lieutenant Debra Morgan's case, that's exactly what happens at the end of Season 1.
Have you had dinner yet?
I would love to.
The titular anti-hero's adoptive sister enters a relationship with friendly prosthetist Rudy Cooper. The two have what seems to be a normal courtship, and Debra is obviously smitten. However, we soon learn that Rudy is the Ice Truck Killer, who is being investigated for killing and mutilating multiple women.
I think a real cop would at least have a sense that she was the presence of the person that she was hunting. Right?
You're hurting me.
It turns out that Debra is just a pawn in his plan to get close to and ultimately team up with his long-lost brother, Dexter. The ordeal leaves poor Debra traumatized.
This isn't you.
Pretty sure it is.
No.
Number 7. Isabel Rochev and Oliver Queen. Arrow. Season 2 sees Green Arrow himself fall prey to yet another enemy in an ally's clothing. Isabel Rochev, an executive at Queen Consolidated, cozies up to Oliver Queen, aka Arrow, while in Russia.
Underneath that swagger, I see you pretty clearly.
Really? And what do you see?
You're intelligent. Driven. And lonely.
As events unfold, we learn that Isabel has been in the pocket of evil Slade Wilson the whole time and had been preparing his Deathstroke army behind Oliver's back.
Slade. You're working for him.
With.
Isabel wants revenge on the Queen family after Oliver's father, Robert, abandoned her years before.
Why are you doing this?
sad you don't know. The sins of the father are the sins of the son.
Well, this is one of those flings on the list that doesn't go much longer than a single night. We can't help but feel bad for Oliver for the predicament he finds himself in.
Isabel, I have to go. I'm sorry.
Do I strike you as someone who needs to cuddle?
Number 6. Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen, Game of Thrones. So this one gets a little complicated, as Game of Thrones loves to keep audiences trying to figure out who the hero and villain are.
I wish I could take it back. I wish we'd never gone.
I don't.
But Daenerys' actions towards the end of the series paint her quite clearly as bad news. By season 7, the Mother of Dragons and King of the North have formed not only a sturdy alliance, but a romantic bond as well.
He loved her. And she loved him.
Unbeknownst to them, they're also related, but that's beside the point. Jon and Dany's royal romance crumbles around the time she destroys King's Landing, and he comes to recognize her as the tyrant she has turned into. As a result, he's forced to make an agonizing decision in the finale.
We break the wheel together.
You are my queen. Now and always.
Number 5. Eve Polastri and Villanelle, Killing Eve. If there's a fine line between sworn enemy and passionate lover, the relationship between Eve Polastri and her arch-nemesis Villanelle is pretty much the embodiment of that line.
Wear it down.
The British series follows MI5 agent Eve in her hunt for infamous assassin Villanelle. Along the way, Eve and Villanelle develop a mutual affinity for one another that may be called love, obsession, or a dangerous mixture of both.
I just want to have dinner with you! Okay?
Over the show's 4 seasons, we see their dynamic evolve from cat and mouse to a tight, if twisted, bond. At least, things appear to end well for the badass couple. Number 4. Indiana Jones and Dr. Elsa Schneider, the Indiana Jones franchise.
Leave me alone. I don't like fast women.
And I hate arrogant men.
Indiana Jones fans were genuinely surprised when our hero's rendezvous with Dr. Elsa Schneider panned out the way it did. In the third film, Schneider, a beautiful Austrian historian, teams up with Indy on his search for the Holy Grail. One romantic day in Venice, the two of them go for a nice little roll in the hay.
Venice.
Not long afterward, though, Schneider reveals herself as a Nazi sympathizer who has just been using Indy and his father to acquire the Grail for Hitler.
But you should have listened to your father.
This bitter revelation certainly makes things awkward whenever they have to interact throughout the rest of the film. And it doesn't help that Schneider is implied to have had a run-in with Indy's dad as well.
How did you know she was a Nazi?
She talks in her sleep.
Number 3. Buffy Summers and Spike, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What begins as a bitter rivalry between vampire and slayer becomes one of the most controversial romances in television history. When Buffy first meets Spike in Season 2, he's a feared vampire who's already defeated 2 slayers over the course of his tortured eternal life.
I'll tell you what. As a personal favor from me to you, I'll make it quick. It won't hurt a bit.
No, Spike. It's gonna hurt a lot.
After a bizarre turn of events, Buffy and Spike become allies and, a little while later, a couple. As the seasons develop, viewers observe every step of the toxic dance that is their relationship. There may have been a lot of passion between Buffy and Spike, but fans often describe their union as unhealthy, and it's easy to see why.
Touched a nerve, didn't it?
Don't flatter yourself.
Number 2. Batman and Talia al Ghul, The Dark Knight Rises. The Batman franchise enjoys having its heroes fraternize with the enemy, and one of the most notable instances occurs in The Dark Knight Rises.
What's that?
My power's been shut off.
The 2012 blockbuster finds Talia al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul, posing as the CEO of Wayne Enterprises. She befriends and earns the trust of the brooding Bruce Wayne and eventually becomes his lover.
We could leave. Tonight. Take my plane. Go anywhere we wanted.
Whereas other incarnations of Talia have been more sympathetic, in this film she's pretty underhanded, very clearly using Wayne in her plot to avenge her dead father and destroy Gotham. Tough break, Bruce, but at least you've still got Selina.
You think all this can last? There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. James Bond and Vesper Lynd, Casino Royale. No matter the movie he's in or the actor portraying him, 007 certainly seems to have a type, the bad girl.
I'm the money.
Every penny of it.
From Pussy Galore to Electra King and beyond, Bond just goes mad for these off-limits ladies. But the one that takes the cake is Vesper Lynd from Casino Royale.
I can't resist waking you. Every time I do, you look at me as if you haven't seen me in years. It makes me feel reborn.
In this installment, which chronologically comes before all the other Bond films, the sultry, seductive Lynd forms what seems to be an honest connection with Daniel Craig's Bond as they attempt to combat a terrorist organization. Unfortunately for Bond, though, Lynd is eventually disclosed to be a double agent and ends up breaking his heart. All the same, one might argue that Lynd brings out a softer side of 007 that we never see again.
Does this mean that you're warming to me?
Yeah, that's how I would describe it.
Which is your favorite date with disaster? Feel free to tell us in the comments section.
You sound like you're looking forward to it.
I'm adaptable.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.